Today I continue to read from the Green Book, and this is from part 3 of the book, and this is the section on education. The usual state-controlled education versus what ideal free education, emphasizing freedom, could be. And so today I'm going to do the reading a little differently. Instead of showing you the page, I'm going to show you this diagram that I drew to illustrate what he's talking about in the first page when he talks about state-controlled education. Alright, education or learning is not necessarily that routinized curriculum and those classified subjects and textbooks which youths are forced to learn during specified hours while sitting in rows of desks. This type of education, now prevailing all over the world, is directed against human freedom. State-controlled education, which governments boast of whenever they're able to force it on their youths, is a method of suppressing freedom. It is compulsory obliteration of a human being's talent, as well as a coercive directing of a human being's choices. It is an act of dictatorship, destructive of freedom, because it deprives people of their free choice, creativity, and brilliance. To force a human being to learn according to a set curriculum is a dictatorial act. To impose certain subjects upon people is also a dictatorial act. State-controlled and standardized education is in fact a forced stultification of the masses. All government which set courses of education in terms of formal curricula and force people to learn those courses coerce their citizens. All methods of education prevailing in the world today should be destroyed through a universal cultural revolution that frees the human mind from curricular fanaticism, which dictate a process of deliberate distortion of man's taste, conceptual ability, and mentality. This does not mean that schools are to be closed and that people should turn their backs on education, as it may seem to superficial readers. On the contrary, it means that society should provide all types of education, giving people the chance to choose freely any subjects they wish to learn. Right? They're just in this open space, just looking at the sky, the trees, just laying on the ground, and that's totally fine. This is as valid a way of learning, or they could be climbing the trees and learning that way as well, right? Climbing, let's say this person's gonna be climbing this tree, and then this person's gonna climb, and that's fine too, right? This requires a sufficient number of schools for all types of education. Insufficient numbers of schools restrict freedom of choice, forcing them to learn only the subjects available, right, which is what's happening here, while depriving them of the natural right to choose because of the unavailability of other subjects. Societies like this, which ban or monopolize knowledge, are reactionary societies which are biased towards freedom and which are biased towards ignorance. Biased towards ignorance and are hostile to freedom.